Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to continue with our plan series of videos. And for today we're looking at L, which is reading labels like it is your job. This is something that is extremely important when you are starting out a ketogenic lifestyle, and you'll find that the need continues as you go along, especially because you have so many products in pharmacies and in grocery shops that are in the health food aisle, that will be listed as gluten free, low carb, sugar free, diabetic friendly. And when you actually look at it, you'll find that the product itself, even though the nutritional info might show you that there is a low fat or low sugar option on that shelf, when you look at the actual label and the ingredients, that's when you start seeing the hidden sugars, that's when you see the preservatives. So this video is really a very short one to remind you of these important tips. And if you are counting your macros, if you are tracking, remember that if you are counting net carbs, it's 20 grams of net carbs is the limit. And the way that you calculate net carbs is carbohydrates minus the fiber and then sugar alcohols. So your sugar alcohols are erythritol, xylitol, stevia. What is the other one? Now I can't think of the name. Okay. But there are sugar alcohols that you use in keto baking and treats, and it's monk fruit. Sorry. Yeah, keeping it real here. So it's erythritol, stevia, xylitol, monk fruit are the common sugar alcohol. So if you have that in a product, you also subtract that from the carbohydrates. So you do carbohydrates minus, and then in brackets, fiber plus sugar alcohol, which would give you the net carbs of your product. Again, the rule of thumb, and you can go back and look at some of the blog posts on the challenge site, and you'll see that your total carbs for the day should be around 30 to 50 grams of total carbs. You try and keep them much lower when you are still in a fat loss phase, but when you go to maintenance, you can start increasing those daily carbs. Now, before we even look at any labels, one of the important things to remember is that sugar is everywhere. It is hidden in different names. So you'll often find that in those health food, gluten-free, sugar-free products, you'll find things like tapioca flour and tapioca syrup. You'll find dextrose being a very common one. Fructose, obviously. Even coconut sugar will actually spike your insulin, which is the aim that you don't want to go for when you are in a state of ketosis. Maltitol is something that is used in a lot of keto and banting treats, chocolates, that type of thing. It does upset a lot of people's stomach, and too much of any sugar alcohol can actually cause an upset stomach. So once you are going towards maintenance or you are used to the lifestyle, if you have any of these treats, make sure it's a treat. It's not a cheat, and it's not an everyday thing. Once in a while, your body will be able to handle that. But let's look at some labels. So one of the questions people always ask is, why can't I use milk if I can use full cream and I can use yogurt? So milk is very high in carbs, cow's milk that is, and very low in fiber. If you look at, let me get a pointer out here. If you look at the glycemic carbohydrates, you have per 100 mils 4 for full cream milk, and then your dietary fiber is 0, right? All of that carbohydrate is actually sugar in full cream milk. When you look at a almond milk, which is unsweetened, so please make sure that you're choosing an unsweetened almond milk. It's less than 2 grams of carbs. Half of that is sugar. And then you also have less than 1 gram of fiber. So you have a net carb of about 1 with almond milk. Now this is a tricky one, and one that shows what the health food aisles do. So this one was actually labeled low carb wrap. This one is labeled gluten free. And you will see that the number one ingredient on an ingredients list is always the one that has the most, or the ingredient that's the most in a product. But if you look at the carbs, it is per serving 6.2 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber. So it is actually, in terms of net carbs, very low in carbs. But I'm following a ketogenic diet, and so look at what it has as its very first ingredient: wheat flour, which is gluten. It has oat fiber, palm oil, soya flour, glycerin, which is sugar, and then all of the preservatives. So what they often do with these things is they bulk up in fiber so that when you work out the net carbs, it's very low. So they can advertise legally as low carb. Now, if you look at this gluten-free base, here you have your carbohydrates. It's sitting at 81, so it's a whole pizza. So you would obviously cut this up and portion it out for yourself if you had it. And it's about 70 grams of net carbs for the whole pizza, base. But again, what is your very first ingredient? Cornstarch and potato starch. All of these gluten-free things would have things like tapioca, pea, corn, buckwheat, but they put in all of these fibers, all of these thickeners that they've got here, so that the net carbs come down. But they're all from the health food aisle. So watch out for that. Then the other thing that people often ask about is chocolate. So for your chocoholics out there, dark chocolate is what you use for baking. If you can get a completely sugar-free dark chocolate, then please do go ahead and do that. But if you want to get the dark chocolate when you're out doing your grocery shopping, so this is the difference in terms of percentage. You want to go for dark chocolate that's 85% or higher. And then you want to look at the ingredients. So again, like I said, the first ingredient is the one that is the most in a product, right? So in an 85% cocoa chocolate, you have cocoa mass, then more cocoa, then cocoa butter, then the sugar, then vanilla. With a 70% graham chocolate, you have cocoa, and then sugar, and then cocoa. So the sugar being second on that list is telling you that it has more sugar in it. If you look at the difference in the nutritional info on these chocolates, you'll have the 85% dark chocolate is 7 grams of net carbs per serving, where the 70% is 10 grams of net carbs. So again, if you are tracking, looking at your macros, all of these things you would calculate and you would work out. But again, treats are a treat. It's not something that you have every single day. So I hope that little video or that little explanation helps in terms of understanding labels. Make sure that you are checking labels on your medication. Obviously, if you are prescribed medication by your doctor that you are needing, take it. You need to take it. I take medication that has maize in it and sugar, but I need that medication in order to be able to function. And so I make sure that that is the only thing that I'm putting in my body that has the maize and the sugar. But please do read your labels like it's your job. It will become second nature. And join us for the next video, which is going to be around anticipating and activities. And then, if you haven't yet, go and check out the P is for preparation and planning. Bye bye.